The Ministry of Youth and Sports of the Gambia stands at the forefront of empowering young people and driving the development of sports across the nation. With a mission to support the next generation and foster unity through sports, the ministry ensures that no youth is left behind. The ministry strives to address the needs of youth and athletes through structured planning and effective policies.
The Ministry of Youth and Sports is responsible for youth affairs and sports development. When I say youth affairs, is by creating the conducive environment for the young people, empowering them, and providing the necessary skills for them to contribute to the socio-economic development of this country. For sports development, we promote, encourage, and support sports in this country, both locally and internationally, and creating the necessary infrastructure for the advancement of sports in this country.
As a result, it is responsible for policy evolution, coordination, monitoring and evaluation of youth and sports programs and projects. Under the Ministry of Youth and Sport, we have satellite institutions. These are institutions that are established by an act of parliament. These acts were promulgated and enacted from 1999 to 2000. The Independent Stadium and Friendship Hotel Act 1999, the NYSS Act 1999, revised in 2015, and currently we reviewing them. The NYC Act 2000, the NSC Act 2000, the PIA Act, the NEDI Act. These are all legislative frameworks of the ministry that we think we need to review to align it with the current realities in accordance with the National Development Plan. So we have funding from the UN System to the Peace Building Fund. The National Youth and Sports policies are the main policy instrument that guides the work of the ministry. The ultimate goal of these policies are to function as guides for the ministry and its partners to ensure that investment in youth and sport take place across sectors and in all policies and programs. We have a 5-year strategic plan as a medium for the implementation of these policies. Despite these, the satellite institutions, they have their subsectoral strategic plans, which is anchored on the Ministry of Youth and Sports strategic plan.
In order to achieve our objectives with regards to sports and youth empowerment, this ministry has some satellite institutions directly working with the young people and sports in general, all geared towards advocating or creating the necessary skills and environment for the young people and the development of sports in this country. Each of these institutions, they have different mandates. The National Sports Council is the technical arm of this ministry on sports matters, advising this ministry technically, whereas the sporting association also go through the Sports Council, they register with the Sports Council, and they communicate to this ministry through the Sports Council. And we assist most of these sporting bodies through the National Sports Council.
The National Sports Council plays a very vital role in the development of sports in the Gambia. And as part of its role, among other things, is to give advice to the Honorable Minister of Youth and Sports on matters relating to sports. The National Sports Council also acts as the main promotional and coordinating agency for the development of sports in the country. The council also, as part of its role or mandate, is to ensure that associations that are registered under its purview conform to the rules and regulations, the standards, the norms and values of their international and national statutes, like the constitutions that they have. Any action that they do must be in conformity with those regulations and rules. It is also the body that plays the role of registering national associations and the national federations across the country. Part of its role, again, is to raise funds for the development of sports funding. It is also part of its role to implement and also control the sports development fund. We ensure that associations in the country and federations with sport committees have that cordial relationship. It is also our role as a council to provide assistance to our federations and the associations with our sports organizations to train them, build their capacities in terms of coaching, in leadership, sport education. So to name a few, these are our roles as a council. In order to enhance the performance of our athletes and also register an unprecedented performance from our athletes, sports infrastructure needs to be available. This is, one of the reasons why the Ministry of Youth and Sports embarked on ensuring that mini stadia are built across the country. And in doing so, in LRR, Julafar Village, a mini stadia is built, completed, with full grass pitch, with all the features that one would need for a mini stadium. And for Janjambure, the perimeter fence is done. We have also helped Sinchu to erect part of their perimeter fence that was fallen by the heavy rains some 2 years ago. And at the moment, when you go to Serakunda Central, that is the Mboyo field, there is a full construction of a mini stadium. The drainages have been done. The pavilion is under construction. The dressing rooms for the teams and also the referees are also under construction. In Kafuta, the perimeter fence is done. That is in Kombo East, West Coast region. The security post, the grass, the internal perimeter fence also completed. In the Abugo, the field is also done. You have the post. When you go to Penyem, we have also almost completed the perimeter fence of Penyem community field. But work is ongoing in some of those areas. Mini stadia are in phases. The first phase is to ensure that the perimeter fence is done, there is grass, and a good post for football. Then the second phase, where we will now look at mini stadia with the right space to provide them with multi-purpose lawns so that those who are into basketball, volleyball, and handball, tennis, and others can also have a space where they will practice their choice of sports. The ones with the bigger spaces in the third phase will look at providing them with tracks so that across the country, wherever you go, those who are doing athletics can have access to tracks and be able to showcase their talent. We have totally changed the face of the Independence Stadium to a modern stadium. Now that we have added features that were not part of the stadium. Just if you look at your right, you can see a new step that is specifically for the media. It leads you directly to the media tribune. There are readily made tables. These tables are ordered and they have all the features that one would need to connect your gadgets, being it the internet or electricity. So you will see to it that the media will be seated separate between the VIP and the democracy pavilion, separated by barriers so that the media has that focus on the match. Below the media tribune, that's where you have the conference room. That conference room, already the materials are in place. They are the state-of-the-art material. Very good. These are things that were not, or features that were not part of the original stadium, which was built by the Chinese in the 80s. Now you look at the pitch, it's a very, very magnificent grass. Around the pitch, the hard surface is also covered with artificial turf, so that everything looks green. Other parts that are natural grass are also trimmed and looks very, very good. On the other side, that is the uncovered, where we have the new tunnel That also is a very, very good tunnel. And inside you have the dressing rooms for the visiting and the home team. That is the national and the international dressing rooms. We have cameras all over. In the near future, we will be looking at how we collaborate with the BCC. In fact, we have started consultation with them so that Mane Silla could be turned to an indoor facility, so that we are able to host international tournaments like the one that used to happen here, the Zone 2 volleyball championships, karate, all martial arts are done indoor. Badminton, all those are sports that can be done or are very much viable in indoor spaces. So Mane Silla would be used for that purpose. All this work is done by the Ministry of Youth and Sports, and it is all geared towards ensuring that we have the right sport infrastructures so that we improve the performance of our athletes. Grassroots sports, which is the most important aspect of developing sports in a particular country, because the grassroots is where you focus on to be able to build and nurture talents for them to represent you in the higher competitions, being it football, basketball, and so forth. And we have the philosophy of, say, catching them whilst they are young. But we do this not directly linking with the athletes, because we have associations of different disciplines that we deal with. We ensure that we have very good governance in the associations so that they are able to execute their functions correctly. That is one. Another thing too is that we provide the necessary funding for national associations so that they are able to do their activities which will involve the grassroots. We encourage also the training of our coaches. This is not the first time. We have sent coaches to Germany, in Leipzig. Yeah, I benefited from that. Yes, in Leipzig. So many other coaches have also gone to Leipzig from different disciplines, that is different associations. All this is to ensure that when they are back in the country, they are able to impact the knowledge that they learned on the people that they deal with directly, and these are the grassroots. We emphasize in all our dealings with the associations that the grassroots are important, such that focus must be put on them. This is why all associations are encouraged to ensure that they have structures in the school system, because you can't have a better grassroots than the school system. We emphasize that associations ensure that they also include people at the grassroots who are out of the school system. They also have the right to benefit from whatever is given to these associations for them. We have so many players or athletes who have not completed school and have become national icons. Our challenges are numerous, to invest in sports or sports financing is very, very difficult, particularly for countries that are developing. So one of the major challenges is the funding of sports. Whatever one does in sports, it must be supported by financing, because the more you invest, the more you progress, you succeed. So the financing here is a problem. And wherever you go in this world, there is no single government that can raise, their hand and say, we are sponsoring sports exclusively. The private sector must come in here. So this partnership with the private sector is another challenge. This also plays a very vital role in keeping our young people in the country, because already there is something that they can hold on to. There is hope that when they participate on the right infrastructure, they will surely excel to higher heights. Another challenge for us is the issue of mobility. This is the National Sports Council, responsible for the promotion, coordination, of sports, among others, across the country. Normally, every quarter or even every month, a team must leave from the ministry, including the National Sports Council, go around to see what is happening in our world of sports in the country here, so that we know the steps that we will take after analysis being done of our infrastructure and our sports structures across the country. But sometimes this becomes very difficult. Capacity also is another challenge, but we are working on this so that we have more qualified sports administrators. This will help us a lot. Our sports associations, we are very willing people volunteering both day and night, but their capacity is limited because the finances is not there to help them read and be more educated in the area of sports governance. This is also very, very key. Sports is the fastest way of bringing people together to unite. Let's just take an example. When Gambia is playing against any other country, you cannot distinguish who is a Manchester fan, who is a Brighton fan, or who is an Arsenal fan. We are all together as one people. You don't know the political parties where we belong to. You don't know which religion we are following. You don't also know which ethnic group are we from. That day, everybody is just one Gambia. So you see how sports can bring that social cohesion. It is very, very important. It is also another way of bringing the society together. A country like the Gambia, where we live in a society that is closely knitted, with the inclusion of sports in our activities, it strengthens that closely knitted, relationship that we have. So we can use sports as a tool to bring national unity.
Whereas the National Youth Council is charged with the responsibility of coordinating youth affairs and is the technical arm also of this ministry on youth matters. Youth organizations also registered with the National Youth Council.
The National Youth Council was established by an act of the National Assembly in the year 2000. This was at the request certainly of young people that they wanted to have a council, as they have seen certainly in African countries. We have a secretariat which is led by an executive director, and you also have a council which is led by a chairperson who is appointed by the Honorable Minister for Youth and Sports for a 2-year term, which is renewable, possibly only once. Our primary function as a council is to represent the views and aspirations of young people and communicate this to the level of government and of course partners, but equally communicate government plans and programs at the level of young people or to young people. We have this saying that whatever is for young people without the young people is not for them. So whatever government has plans to implement for young people, we ensure that during the development process, young people's views and aspirations are also captured in this process. And this certainly includes the Recovery Focused National Development Plan and in any other documents that government is developing that has a bearing on youth. At the level of the council, we are able to coordinate, the process of ensuring that young people's views and young people's aspirations are clearly heard or are clearly captured in these documents. Our role equally includes every 2 years organizing the National Youth Conference and Festival, which is hosted in rotation. The last one in 2022 was hosted by Banjul. This year, 2024, Kanifing Municipal Youth Council will be hosting the National Youth Conference and Festival. Equally, we register national youth organizations. Currently in our database, we have up to 172 registered national youth organizations that we have. These are the various functions that we do or we have done in the past as a council, and these are things that directly impact on the lives of young people in this country. In summary, the council serves as a liaison or a go-between between young people and government, of course, between other partners, be it the UN agencies or CSOs and the young people. So we are able to be in the middle and be able to really coordinate the interaction, between young people and government, or between partners, other partners, and certainly young people. And all of this is certainly geared towards youth development and, of course, ensuring young people participate in national development processes. Main youth empowerment projects that the council has implemented over the past years certainly include the Youth Empowerment Project, which was an EU-funded project implemented with various partners, including the ITC, which was the main partner. But as a council, we implemented several activities under that project, and part of the activities that we implemented included providing capacity at the level of youth centers. This included Janjambure and certainly Farafenye, which Janjambure has been completed for a while now. Farafenye, we are hoping will soon be operational in the very near future. Beyond that, also, we have worked with the partners in terms of mobilizing young people to participate in these projects in terms of trainings that we are conducted. These are trainings either in carpentry or in other hard skills, but also in soft skills, including entrepreneurship. Most of these partners relied on the council to be able to really mobilize young people for these trainings. And this also impacted and created so many young businesses. Lots of young people were able to definitely partake in the process, enhance their skill in entrepreneurship, and some of them are today great entrepreneurs. The primary function of the project was to curb youth irregular migration. It also supported the reintegration of migrant returnees that were returned mainly through transiting countries. Upon return, the project was able to support their integration back into society. Together also with IOM, we implemented the migration information centers. This again provided capacity at the level of the youth centers, but also beyond that, supported the National Youth Council to reach out to communities, to sensitize them on the dangers of what we call today the back way or the irregular migration, but also get their views in terms of what can be done to be able to curb youth irregular migration. We are currently reviewing the National Youth Council Act of 2000. The Act is 24 years old now, and we thought it is time that the Act is reviewed. UNFP is supporting the process. A consultant has been hired, and we are quite hopeful that before the end of the year, this will be tabled at the level of the National Assembly for them to review the bill and pass, and then to be finally assented to by His Excellency the President. This we hope when we have a new Act will definitely further enhance the contributions of the National Youth Council to the development process of this country, and of course, by extension, the participation of young people in these processes. Together with UNDP, we are currently developing a national action plan on youth, peace, and security. This is a UN Security Council resolution, and currently only 2 or 3 countries in Africa have a national action plan on youth, peace, and security. We are hopeful that before the end of the year, the Gambia will probably be the 3rd or the 4th country in Africa that has a national action plan on youth, peace, and security. The National Youth Council launched the Youth Connect Africa initiative. This was Youth Connect Gambia, launched in 2018. And in 2019, we had our 4th Youth Connect Summit. And this was attended by His Excellency the President, various other ministers. And the annual event has since continued to be an annual event that every other young person looks up to. And last year, again, we had another Youth Connect event, and we are happy to really relate the fact that for the first time, we had over 7 ministers in a panel session with young people, having the opportunity to ask relevant questions to the honorable ministers as to what their aspirations are and what they think needs to be done to be able to really meet their needs as young people. We have young people that participated in the summit, and they are now participating in the summit at the Africa level or even at the level of the Sahel. And this year we are looking forward to the event, which is going to take place in Kigali in Rwanda. Again, over the past years, as a council, together with our various partners, we have conducted various activities that contributed to young people's participation in political processes. We've organized the Not Too Young to Run, and this was intended to get young people into political processes and to vie for political positions. Today, we can happily say that we have probably more than 9 young people that are in parliament. And this was as a result of vigorous orientation processes that we have done to get young people participate in political processes, because this is where decisions are taken. We cannot continue to be on the sidelines. We have to be there where decisions are taken, and this is only possible when we participate in political processes. And we are happy that we have several young people now at the level of the National Assembly, not as nominated members, but these are young people who have been elected. Some of the success stories that we can highlight is the fact that now we have our youth centers sprawling up right across the length and breadth of the country. And these youth centers are not just centers, but together with our partners, we've provided capacity in these youth centers, where they can now provide services on sexual and reproductive health. They can also provide trainings for young people on basic IT skills. Beyond that, they are also serving as a safe space where young people can converge and be able to really conduct, their activities within a very confined space that they can call a safe space or a youth center. In the past, they've been at the level quite dilapidated, but with the support of our partners, these youth centers are now very vibrant. Be it in Bansang, be it in Basse, from Basse down to Janjambure to Farafenye. And we are happy to announce that we've built a new youth center in Kawu, which was with the support of IMVF. Farafenye Youth Center, with the support of ITC, was also reconstructed, and we are hopeful that before the end of October, Farafenye Youth Center will be launched. One thing we pride ourselves as a council is the fact that we have structures right across the length and breadth of this country. At the regional level, we have our regional youth committees. At the district level, we have our district youth committees. At the level of the communities, or at the level of villages, we have several youth organizations registered with the council that you will find at the level of communities. When we want to mobilize young people for any sessions at the level of the region, we relate this to our regional youth committees, and the regional youth committees are able to mobilize young people, and we are able to get the intended feedback from the young people, be it from the youth committees or those that are found within the national youth organizations or the regional youth organizations. So these are the structures that we have, that we always leverage whenever we want to have the views or comments from young people in any issues of national development. This we have done when the NDP was being developed. This we have done when the Constitution was being drafted in the year 2000. We worked with youth groups and engaged young people right across the length and breadth of this country, even into very remote villages, to get their views into the draft Constitution. This we presented to the CRC at the time, which we call the Youth Position Paper. We will equally want to, on behalf of young people, commend the government of the Gambia through the Ministry of Youth and Sports. Despite the challenge of resources, over the past years, we have realized the fact that government contributions to youth development has greatly increased. At the level of the council, yes, we are still grappling with issues of finance, but our subvention has also increased. Beyond government, we also want to thank our traditional partners, including those within the UN systems. They have been very, very supportive. A lot of the activities that we implement at the level of the council were definitely over the past years supported by our UN agencies. Beyond the UN agencies, we also have our other partners that we work with internally within the country, be it from ActionAid or CAS, which is also a traditional partner, which is a German foundation that has been supporting the activities of the National Youth Council over the past years. We also want to thank our youth groups who have been very, very supportive in the activities that we implement over the past years as a council, and of course our regional youth committees.
I would like to take this opportunity to talk to my fellow Gambians to be law-abiding and to maintain peace and tranquility in the country. This is the only place where we have. So the only way we can match our neighbors is by maintaining peace. It is within peace that everything is possible. And I want to thank the government of the Gambia under the leadership of President Adama Barrow for providing the enabling environment for the people of the Gambia to be able to spread their wings across. This is something that everybody should cherish, because without peace, I am not sure there is going to be anything meaningful that can be done in terms of progress in our sectors. So we need to nurture peace, particularly the young people. All what is happening right now from the ministries, all what is being done is for the young people, because we are cognizant of their presence and their numbers. So to have a brighter future, it is the young people that the government definitely works for. The sports sector is here for the young people.
Youth participation is quite very pivotal in national development processes. And with all the initiatives available, we want to urge young people to really leverage on existing opportunities that government and of course other partners are providing for us to be able to really uplift our lives to the next level. But again, also, we have a key role to play in the maintenance of peace and security in this country. There cannot be any meaningful or sustained development in a country where there is no peace and security. And the fact that young people, we account for the majority of this country's population, it's important that we play a key role in the maintenance of peace and security to ensure that the development aspirations of government are met and of course are sustained for posterity.
The Ministry of Youth and Sports continues to be a beacon of hope and opportunity for the young people of the Gambia. Through their efforts in empowering the youth and developing sports, they are shaping the future of the nation. The journey continues as the ministry remains committed to building a brighter future for every Gambian youth, one initiative at a time. This is brought to you by the Ministry of Information as part of its public consultation and popularization of the government agenda initiatives.